Welcome to the ripple effect of love for dads and families. How's everyone doing today? Episode 98. You will learn about my 3-second trick to stop overreacting as a dad. Ooh, pretty exciting. We all overreact. It's normal, it's part of our brains. However, learning tricks that help us are so important. You don't want to yell or, snap at your kids or say something that you regret. However, we all have, including myself, and that's why it's so important for me to support you on this journey. And this yelling or snapping at kids or, just saying something we regret happens before we even realize it often. All of a sudden, we're like, oh, what did I do? And it's a bit late. So, what is the key? It is catching it in time. So we need to learn to get to know ourselves better. Let's break down how we're going to stop, starting today, this overreacting, because it is important, especially if you are on a mission or a journey to lead your family from a place of love, from a place of respect, from a place of understanding, and awesome communication. Those are some of these important things that we didn't learn in school. Who taught us how to stay calm in school? How many of you had teachers that overreacted, parents that overreacted? It's not the go-to way. If you watch, I'm in Canada, so we watch hockey. I mean, how many hockey players overreact at times? They're unable, their amygdala hijacks them and they go right into that fight mode. So, why does our brain react before we do? Before we're able to take a deep breath, before we're able to do something that's logical? I know that in sports, there are many different ways to do this to stay calm. But what I want to talk about is when your amygdala is hijacking you, how can you stop it? Nick it in the butt, as we say. So there is, neuroscientific research, psychologists, and they talk about this 3-second rule. So the point of having 3 seconds is so that you have enough space to go from the amygdala being triggered back to your prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is that part of you that is able to do the logical thinking. So brings you back into the present moment without the survival mode going, danger, danger, something's wrong. And I've seen people react because a child roll their eyes. Yes, I've seen it. I've seen people yell at children because of that. And yes, it may not be respectful. However, is it a reason to be yelling at the child? So that person's survival mode kicked in and felt that the disrespect was so high. So that was a learned thing, right? We learned that rolling our eyes isn't respectful. And when we do it, we're triggering others. And we see many people rolling their eyes, adults as well. So, this 3-second rule is meant to just breathe and pause. And it's a great way, so that you get your amygdala out of the hijacking. But my 3-second trick adds a little something because I believe we need something to snap us out of it before it happens or as it's happening. So, what if we trained our brain to, okay, here it is. So, this is my 3-second trick that changes everything, in my opinion. Try it out for 21 days, even for 3 days. I think you'll see a huge difference. It adds one more component that I find very powerful, and it's the snap sound. And you breathe in. There's your 3 seconds. It helps get out of the amygdala, the survival mode, so that you're able to see, feel, and sense really what's happening, not what your survival mode is telling you. Because your survival mode can be telling you, hey, that's rude. That's disrespectful. How dare they? And where did we learn these beliefs? We learned them from our family. We learned them from our community. We learned them from school, work environment, right? What's right, what's not. If you go from one culture to the next, there are things like slurping at the table is very disrespectful in some countries, but in other countries, it shows that you appreciate the food. So, how do you know where to go, right? So, if you were raised learning to slurp your food and you're in a country now that does not accept that anymore, how do you calm that amygdala down? Hmm. So, my quick 3-second trick is to snap, breathe, relax, and be present. That's my 3 seconds uh, trick. Who's up to take this challenge on, to try it out, to see how it works for you? Every time your child does something, sometimes we know ahead of time, oh, they're going to do it again, right? So, as you have that thought, snap, breathe, observe, pay attention, stay in the present moment instead of going into, in the morning. It's going to be one of those mornings. Wait a minute. What can I do differently? See, I was able to go from the hijacked part to the present part. Yes, it's easier said than done. But if you practice this over and over, you've got way more chances of this happening for you. Okay, what is my next tip? Well, some of you might not be surprised, but it is called the Snap, Tap, Zap. It takes 9 seconds to do one round and really calm down because there are things that will trigger us more than others. And just snap and breathing in may not be enough. We may need more support to do that. So if we snap, breathe in, tap, on a meridian point, there's one here on the sternum. Relax the shoulders and exhale that onto the spiraling train. For me, this has a much more relaxing effect because yes, there's the sound. Yes, there's the breathing, bringing more awareness to my body. But as I tap gently on my sternum, it sends that message to my amygdala to say that I am safe. So when my brain feels safe, the prefrontal cortex can pop in and be present and be there to support you. So let's do that again. Relax the shoulders. Exhale. And there you go. Are you feeling calmer? Another way that I would implement the snap, tap, zap would be to think about something that would trigger you that your child usually does. And you've decided that's enough. I'm not going to let my child trigger me with this way of doing or this way of saying things, whatever it is. And you imagine it and you see out of 10, how intense is it? How intense does this trigger you? 1 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, it really triggers you. And then you just, with that feeling inside your body, but there's nobody around, just you taking care of you, giving yourself some self love, you breathe in, you relax the shoulders, and you put the trigger, whatever it is that your child does or says, into the spiraling train. If it's words, if it's actions, rolling their eyes, put the rolling eyes into the spiraling train as you exhale. And notice how you feel. Keep doing it, breathing in. Now, if they've been triggering you with this for 5-10 years, you will need more than just one release. So you keep going until you can see yourself. This is key. Until you can see yourself or see your child doing this action and you staying calm. Can you close your eyes? See your child do this action that used to trigger you. Relax and exhale. Are you staying calm now? If you are, congratulations. You are now ready to implement this with your child. So as soon as you see your child in reality now, and just stay calm, then you can implement the 3-second trick, right? Start with the 9-second trick, the snap, tap, zap, and then you can implement just the 3-second trick. And this goes, the more you do this, the more your children learn to self-regulate. They learn to build their emotional resilience. They learn to become more mindful. They learn to self-regulate. They learn to pause before reacting. Just imagine if your dad or mom, in some cases it's dad, in some cases it's mom, just imagine if your parent had taught you this when you were 2 years old, 3 years old. What difference would have this made in your life? Let's just breathe in, relax the shoulders, and exhale. What difference would this have made in your life? Think about it. This can be an excellent motivator to help you integrate and really motivate you from inside to practice when your children aren't there, so that when your children are there, you're able to be that awesome dad who doesn't react anymore. And if you react, It's okay. Give yourself grace. When I started using Snap, Tap, Zap, when I created it and started using it in my own life, it wasn't like, Snap, okay, I don't react to anything. Of course not. Right? However, now with my children, I don't react to anything. If I do right away, I'm doing the snap, tap, zap, and I might tap on my fingers under the table while they're telling me their story. That's like, you know, maybe I was really scared for their life while they're telling me the story, but I don't want to interrupt you. And how dare you do something so stupid? I'm not going to say that because it's not true. They're smart and we get into situations and let's listen to the end to see what happened and look for what you're proud of them for doing. With teens, this is very important to let them express their idea. And they might start with what they think will shock you the most because they're smart. They've organized the words and the ideas. And sometimes it's the question that we ask at the end that will make the biggest difference. Oh, and what did you learn from this? What did I learn? They're trying to trigger us, and we're asking them what they learned. Ah, what a nice switch, right? They're learning emotional resilience from that question with you, aren't they? They're learning to think about, oh, next time this situation shows up, maybe I'll do something different. That's another excellent question. What would you like to do differently next time you're in this type of situation? And they learn and they progress with our love and our support. So, thank you, dads. Hope this was super helpful. And if you'd like to share in the chat how the challenge is going, I'd love to hear. On YouTube is the best place to put those comments, but it's okay. What's a moment where you wish you could have responded differently? Time to think about that. And what do you want to stop reacting and start leading? Let's work it through together. Book a free, pressure free call, only 20 minutes, but in 20 minutes, you'll see how much we can get done and get to. So take great care of yourself. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow again for the ripple effect of love for dads and families. And let's see how we can support each other to be better